with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The first item on the agenda tonight is, Ed, will you do the approval of the minutes, please?
Approval of the minutes. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby approves the minutes of the February 12th, 2020 meeting as submitted.
May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried. As mentioned, if you have questions with regards to the agenda, you can type them in. Ed's going to look at them and read them out if they're related to the agenda. There is a little bit of a delay, so when you write it, we'll take a look at that.
Just one clarification to elaborate on that. It's the chat function, if you're in the chat function.
Okay, so if you have a question related to the 5 items on the agenda, please send us using the chat function. We'll do it in real time, so if we see a few, I'll start with our personnel resignations and appointments, but we'll stop before we move into the next section and entertain questions so that we can move along. Personnel resignations and appointments. Number 1 and 2, Pete, would you please do those?
Yes, Bob. Number A, resignations and appointments. Number 1, Frank LaBianca, resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby accepts the resignation for retirement purposes of Frank LaBianca, Humanities Director, High School Assistant Principal, effective July 1st, 2020.
Thank you, Pete. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Ed. Any comments? All in favor indicate aye. Aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Resolution carries. Number 2, Pete.
Number 2, Shannon Orr, school psychologist. Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby accepts the resignation of Shannon Ott, school psychologist, effective March 26, 2020.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rob. Any comments? All in favor, please indicate by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Number 3, Steve, would you do 3 and 4, please?
Yes, sir. Robert Massey, custodian. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby accepts the resignation of Robert Massey, part-time custodian, effective March 2nd, 2020.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any comments? All in favor, please indicate by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Number 4, Steve, please proceed.
Brian McCarthy, acting assistant principal. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby appoints Brian McCarthy as elementary school assistant principal at a per diem rate of $650 per day, effective July 1st, 2020, and is to serve at the pleasure of the board.
May I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Lisa. Any comments? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Vote carried. Number 5. Anne Marie, number 5.
Substitute nurse. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby approves the following substitute nurse. Camila Martinez, start date February 22nd, 2020, in the area of substitute nurse, compensation $125 a day.
Second.
Thank you, Anne Marie. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rob. Any comments? Please indicate by aye. In
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
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 Good. We'll take a stop here. Ed, have you received any questions?
No questions submitted so far.
Good. Moving on to action items. Rob, would you proceed with action items A?
Sure. Action items A, Committee on Special Education. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education has no objections to the preschool March 9, 2020, elementary school February 4, 2020, February 4, 2020, February 10, 2020, February 10, 2020, February 11, 2020, February 13, 2020, middle school February 10, 2020, high school January 9, 2020, January 13, 2020, January 17, 2020, January 23, 2020, January 31st, 2020, January 31st, 2020, February 5th, 2020, February 13, 2020, and out of district February 11, 2020, out of district February 13, 2020, out of district February 27, 2020, out of district February 28, 2020, district March 2nd, 2020. Recommendations and approves authorization for the funds to implement the special education programs and services consistent with such.
Thank you, Rob.
I have a second. I have a second.
Thank you, Pete. Any comments? Please indicate your affirmance by saying aye.
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 Bob, if we can take a pause. Some of the folks who joined us on this call have asked about trying to find a copy of the agenda. So did we post it on the website?
Yes, it's on the website.
Okay, thank you, Maureen.
Thank you. Everyone voted. All in favor? Vote carried. B, Lisa, federal single audit, which please.
Federal single audit resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent. The Board of Education hereby accepts the federal single audit report as submitted by the firm of Cullen and Danowski LLP for the school year July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019.
Thank you, Lisa. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Steve. Any comments? All in favor indicate aye.
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 Vote carried. That concludes the agenda for this evening. Any questions posted?
No other questions posted related to the agenda or otherwise. In light of the short agenda and lack of other questions, I move to adjourn this meeting.
May I
I
have a
second. I second.
Thank you. All in favor indicate aye.
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 Thank you all for your service. Please be safe, everyone. Good evening.
Thanks.
Everyone have